I'm so excited that I finished the whole ritual theory process using the tarot as examples. I'm super excited that I was able to finish the whole 78 card deck. I've been working on this for over a year and a half, and it's been a really interesting journey. It's been an interesting journey on a lot of levels. And as I'm kind of wrapping up that process and that project, I wanted to spend a few minutes kind of talking through how this went for me, because I was doing these rituals every week for 78 weeks, and it's been fascinating. One of the things that I noticed was that the challenge of putting them on video kind of changed what it was that I did. If I hadn't done it on video, I might have done more stuff on the computer, I think. Because a lot of the things that I came up with as rituals were actually not visual. They weren't interesting to do on a camera. So I think that for me, as I start to think about these ritual concepts, specifically to the tarot cards, it would have been a heck of a lot more stuff that was kind of cerebral, I think. One of the other things that I did notice was that I pull a tarot card for myself every morning just to kind of check in with myself and go, hey, this is what I'm doing today. This is what to expect. When I do that, often it is the same card that is either the ritual that I have to do that day or the ritual that I just completed. Almost always I am calling that energy into myself, even though I was doing the rituals like in order. And so it was really fascinating when I, had to do that day a Queen of Cups ritual, and I drew the Queen of Cups that day. I don't think that the synchronicity was an accident by any means. I think actually what it ends up being is more a way that like I was in dialogue with myself in the course of this work. So, ritual is how we speak to our unconscious, and I think that I was in dialogue with my unconscious. And, tarot is a tool for us to communicate with our unconscious and our intuition. And so the tarot was just reinforcing the same conversation I was already having. At least that's how I interpret it. Your mileage may vary, but that's how I interpret the fact that that happened dozens of times through the course of the last year and a half. The other thing that I noticed about it was that it became harder and harder to think of it as a tool for teaching rituals rather than a tool for teaching the tarot. I ended up talking a lot more about what the cards meant and how I was interpreting them, and less about why and how I was designing the ritual the way that I was. And it was always intended to be, these are examples of how to create rituals, not this is a tarot experiment. And so it's been an interesting process to kind of see how that all plays out. But I'm super excited by how it came out. I'm super excited to be done. I'm also super excited to have it appearing here on Patreon and then later on YouTube about 6 months from now. But to have it be something that exists, right? This started off as a random sandbox idea. This started off as do people want this? Is anybody interested in this? And it's just continued. And so I've been super excited to kind of see how it took place and how it grew over the time. So what's next for the ritual series and the ritual theory in general is that first I do have an on-demand class, and the on-demand class is about 2.5 hours of lectures. It's also got some meditations as well as some downloads that is basically pulling together everything that I taught in my live class on morbid anatomy last January, as well as all of the kind of richness of doing this project through the last year and a half. I'll put a link below to that class. It's also got a community involved. So if you sign up for the class, there's a forum there that you can talk with other people who are interested in ritual design and ritual theory, as well as myself. So it's a really fun resource. I really strongly recommend that you check it out. The other thing that I am doing for the tarot rituals specifically is I'm going to be putting this into a book proposal. So I will be taking all of the videos that I've made and creating a book proposal around this idea. It won't be fully duplicative of what I did here on YouTube or on Patreon or in the videos themselves or even in the on-demand class. I want to do something slightly different because I want to kind of apply some of the lessons learned that I had from the actual creation of the videos themselves. So while I will be including a good bit of the content that I created, I do want to kind of add to that in a way because, going from video to book is a different thing. But also just kind of to understand a little bit deeper how to engage with these tools. So probably some explanation of when and how to apply these. Like if you're doing readings for yourself or you're doing readings for other people, and how those rituals might be useful in a tarot practice, I think is probably some of the stuff that I'm going to write around this. I also haven't really written anything about my own tarot practice or about using cards or divination or anything as a tool to communicate with the unconscious. And I think that can be a really interesting kind of avenue into it, using some of my scholarship applied to these kinds of techniques. So that's some of the stuff that I'm thinking about putting in the book. More on that later. We'll see where that ends up going. But that's one of the things that I want to do. Now, of course, everybody has gotten used to having a video every Friday. And I don't want to take away your Friday videos. So one of the things that I want to do is a different card by card exploration. And I'll do an introduction to that next week. But there is going to be a Friday video. It's just not going to be tarot and it's not going to be rituals. So as I start to create that and get it underway, you will begin to see new things popping up that are not related to the tarot and not related to the ritual. I'll be bringing rituals back in and continue to do those, and continue to recommend them and design them, but I'm not going to be doing videos around ritual theory until I figure out the book, honestly. What I'll be doing instead is a different project, and stay tuned for that. Like I said, I'll be doing an intro for that next week. Thanks.